You have entered the Arcade Cafe. Today we're serving Miller Lite again.
I didn't know I was supposed to be drinking something.
You don't have to be drinking something.
Drinking old Surge from the 90s.
It's just it's just something I'm trying out since we're Arcade Cafe, and I figured it'd be like drink themed. Not themed, but just a little accent there.
Okay.
I am your host, Bryce Yoli, and I'm here with my pal and cousin-in-law, Caleb James.
What's up?
Here in the Arcade Cafe lies a cortado-sized answer to those full-length episodes of the main feature of Arcade Bookshop. At only 20 minutes in length, we bring you our current thoughts on our video game progress, our book progress, a little bit of video game news that is probably already a little old, occasional state of the podcast info, our wants, our needs, our private thoughts, our deepest, darkest secrets, and the sweet nothings that Caleb whispers in the bedroom. Today, I have just a couple things on my mind. The first being how much I hate the way my laugh sounds when I'm listening to these shows, when I'm editing.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's probably the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
I agree.
It
I
just burns
feel
into my
bad
brain.
for
I have
everybody
nightmares.
that's listening to this because it's like every time I have to laugh, it sounds like I have to laugh. Like I'm giving you a pity laugh or something because you're not actually that funny. Yeah, it just sounds like
Yuck.
what's wrong with me?
I don't know. I ask that all the time. What's a cortado?
Oh, cortado is
It's a made-up
equal
word.
parts. No, it's a coffee drink. It's equal parts espresso and steamed milk.
Sounds fake.
It's served like in a shot glass. It's like a full shot glass.
Sounds like a lie.
No,
Sounds
it's
made
actually
up.
pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's like the next thing down from a cappuccino. So, besides my stupid laugh and cortados, just a tiny bit of housekeeping. Just got a fresh batch of Arcade Bookshop stickers.
Ooh, shiny.
Shing, shing, sparkle, sparkle. So if anybody is a fan of the show and interested, just reach out to us on Instagram or arcadebookshop@gmail.com. You know where to find us. Let me know. I can get one of those to you. I can send them for your friends, and maybe we can actually start selling them at some point. Also, besides that, Arcade Bookshop, i.e., me, will be at the Three Rivers Comic Con in Pittsburgh this summer. I think it's June 1st to June 2nd or 2nd and 3rd, that weekend anyway. And it'll be our first Arcade Bookshop public event. I'm really excited. Hope to meet more people in the industry, attract some more listeners, and get the word out there. I'm excited. So I just wanted to
And
put that
I'll
out
be there as a guest
Yeah.
for a brief period of time.
Yeah, because
So I
Caleb didn't
might even stop by or just leer at you from a distance and throw garbage.
Caleb didn't feel like doing
I don't
being
like
at the
public
table
events.
with me.
It's bad enough you want me to read poetry in front of everybody at the PA Bards Association or whatever it is.
You didn't get accepted to the PA bars. Just say it.
Listen, when we're up there reading our poems and everyone claps at me and not you, don't feel bad. Don't be upset.
I won't be upset or feel bad because it's not going to happen.
Okay.
All right. So,
All right.
do you have any housekeeping? Do you need to keep your house?
I don't think I have any housekeeping, but I do want to say that you have gotten terrible at chess. Not a video game, a board game that we played online on
No,
our
listen.
phones, and you got systematically dismantled by one Caleb.
No, I know, but that's because I'm trying to play my games like as fast as possible, and I'm
Really, it
making
drug on and on and on. I'm like, this guy's taking forever.
no way.
What's with
The
all
only
the
time
fucking deliberation? Jeez.
the only time it dragged was overnight when I was sleeping, and then during the day when I was working. Other than that, it finally got to a point where I was like, "All right, you obliterated me," and I resigned because there was no point in going on any further.
You could have just let me get the checkmate. It was right there.
I didn't know where it was. I'm not good at endgame. I can't see that for myself or from the other end, so I
It
just
was
kind of
one
let
move
that go.
away.
I am
Just
trying to get
because I
really good
took
at
your
it, though.
queen and you gave up. That's what happened.
Well, I didn't give up right away. I let it go sometime because I don't need my queen, but I'm just not that good at that game, so I'm working on it. I think I might start reading about it a little bit, but
I've
maybe
been
we'll talk
doing a
about
lot
that.
of 5 minute and under games. That's why I'm so great now. I like the blitz games.
Oh, you've been doing it?
Yeah, I told you I play like 5 minutes.
Oh, like have you been doing that like for the past year or just
Pretty much. I just play the
Jeez,
computer.
I didn't fucking know that. I thought you were just like off of it like I was.
No, I do the puzzles every day.
Jesus, how many daily things do you have?
A lot, but it only takes like 5 minutes. Like I said, I only
Sometimes
play.
you sometimes you do like 10 lessons on Duolingo. I
Well,
don't
I
get
do
how you
more
have
than
time for
that,
that.
but I do Duolingo twice a day. I do it in the morning and then I do it in the evening.
Irish, right?
Irish,
Or
Japanese, and Spanish. I was doing Latin, but I gave up on it because I just
this guy's ridiculous. I don't understand
dumb
how anyone
language.
has time for the things that you do.
It's called
But
being cool, Bryce, and not
maybe
having
we
any
can
friends.
That's the ideal. That's what people seek after.
Yeah.
So maybe we can talk more about chess down the line sometime. I was thinking about that.
We'll
But
do a video game chess series for the Arcade Bookshop, and the fans will love it.
I think that could be interesting to be honest.
Real time gameplay where people who don't know chess will be bored out of their minds, and people
Yeah.
who are good at chess will say, "These guys fucking suck."
All right, moving on. I want to touch on the PS5 news from last week,
Ooh, touch that
which
news.
I think I'm releasing both of these episodes the same day, by the way, because
What the fuck?
this is the first two, and then after that we'll do it.
Why didn't you release the Arcade Cafe that we recorded last week? Last week.
Because Riley couldn't get the
Oh,
music
the
done, but
music.
he got busy. It's fine. But anyway, I heard more about the PS5 thing that you said about how it's like in the late stages of its life, and that's not exactly the case. The what they actually said was it's in its latter half of its life cycle. So it's about half old. So they're still going to be making games. They said they said they're not going to be making any like major franchise titles this or coming out with them this next year, but the
Stupid.
following year they're going to pick back up again. And then they still have like 3 to 4 years left of its like real like active lifetime, and then after that they're still going to be making stuff for it. So that makes me feel a little bit better about that and some clarity for those that listened to the first episode of this.
Yeah, I guess
um
that's good, somewhat good news.
Sorry for the disruption, folks. My computer just crashed and I had to let it recover and get back to the meeting. So here we are back. I don't know what we were talking about last, but PS5 is still going strong for a few more years. And yeah, my next thing I was going to talk about just was a little bit of gaming news. Skull and Bones just released this last Friday. Are you familiar with Skull and Bones?
No.
So Skull and Bones is this project that Ubisoft has been working on for like something like 7 years or something like that. It's basically like a spin-off of Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which was like a
Ooh.
pirate Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And it had so much hype and build up, but before it came out, I was looking at it and I was like, this doesn't look that good. How like what happened here? And people played the beta and they were like, not that fun. And then it came out and it's getting like terrible scores, ratings. Like, I mean, some people got it as high as like a 7.5, but it it just doesn't look that good. Like it's Assassin's Creed D, but in terms of like the design and the the atmosphere, kind of, I guess. But really, all it is a pirate ship game. You build your ship, design your ship, you build a crew. I think you shoot at other ships, you get into these wars, and just repeat. And you get
Yeah.
like they call it an RPG, but it's like hardly an RPG. I don't even know if it's like an open world. It seems very, very simple. It's almost like a boring computer game. I I watched some of it. I watched the review, and it just does not look interesting to me whatsoever. My buddy Ryan I work with, he was talking about getting it, and I was like, well, I mean, if you get it and you enjoy it, I'll play it with you. I'll get it, I guess. At least I'll come over to your house or something. But he looked at reviews and stuff, and he was like, looks terrible. No thanks. So that's the gaming news that I have this week.
Yeah.
You have anything this week?
No, I don't remember. There was a game or something I saw either dropped or it was dropping, and everyone's talking about it. I don't remember. And if everyone's talking about it, then they already know.
Yeah, it had to be that, I would think. Was it not that?
No, it was something else. I wish I could remember what it was. It was top trending.
Oh, Final Fantasy Rebirth is coming out this week, I think.
I think that was it. Yes.
Yeah, I'm really eager to play. I haven't played Remake yet. I just downloaded it though because I have PS Plus Premium. So I just downloaded that. I'm gonna play it after I play Return of the Obra Dinn for a future episode,
Oberdin.
and maybe we'll talk about Final Fantasy VII on a future episode too.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it looks. I actually haven't looked at a lot for Rebirth, but I hear people talk about Remake, and I've seen some stuff for Remake. The thing that I miss and will always miss is I love turn-based RPGs, and they're pretty much doing away with that nowadays, except for exceptions like indie games like Sea of Stars. But that's one thing I'll miss. But I guess it is still fun doing like active battles. But overall, I'm really just looking forward to the graphics and the story and how they changed the story of Final Fantasy VII, which I'm only hearing about. I don't know anything about it because I'm behind the times and haven't played the game yet. But I'm excited for that, for both of those.
You know what would make Sea of Stars and any turn-based RPG fighting game more entertaining?
What?
Contra guys. Imagine just flying through Sea of Stars, just blasting everybody. You don't even get in any fights. You just shoot everybody to death. Take 5 minutes to beat the whole game.
You should you should keep your Contra references to the main Arcade Bookshop episodes.
All
Because
right.
we could we could go on and on about the Contra guys and what they can do and to make games better.
Like, imagine the old school beat 'em ups that were so hard, but Contra guys.
Right.
It'd be awesome.
It is a good idea.
Like
We
any
were
game just that fucking was a pain in the ass and really hard to beat and made everybody mad. Just have a remake it with Contra guys. You just blast through everybody, beat it in 10 minutes.
It just occurred to me. I think we were talking about chess when my laptop died, weren't
I
we?
want chess, and no, we weren't, but I want chess with Contra
No,
guys. Back row Contra guys, just blast the fuck out of all the pawns and be done with it.
just all my brain is just flipped after that laptop crash.
No,
But
the chess thing we ended the conversation on. You were awful.
oh, okay. Well, that's fair. All right. Well, yeah, Contra guys.
Okay.
You want to talk publications?
Yeah, I think we
You,
already covered that in the last episode, though, didn't
well, you
we?
mentioned yours last time. Did you get anything new since then?
I got accepted by Siren's Call. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not.
I don't
I'll
think
be
you
in the spring volume
told
of
me
that.
that. What's that one?
Or no, not Siren's Call. Strange Days zine. I submitted to Siren's
Oh,
Call. I didn't hear
yeah,
back
yeah,
yet.
yeah. You did mention that one in the last episode. I just got accepted to Star 82 review. That'll come out mid to end March. So I'm excited for that one. It's a poem that I've been shopping around at magazines for like since June 2022. I submitted that 26 times, and the
Whoa.
27th one finally got it, and I'm happy about it because I really like that poem. I also got one accepted to PA Bards, the
You are a
Western
PA bard.
Poetry Review 2024. They put out
Right
one magazine.
alongside me. Maybe we'll
Full
be
shit.
back to back page buddies.
They put out one anthology a year of
Yeah.
the Western PA poets, and they do a reading at in Pittsburgh. Last year it was at a hotel in Bridgeville. I don't know if it'll be the same this year, but
I
I
hope so
like
because it's closer to me.
yeah, and I like doing readings, so I'm excited for that one. That's the second time I've been in that. If I
I'll
didn't say
come and
that
cheer
already.
you on until it's time for my reading.
Yeah, and vice versa.
Yes.
So,
Spencer said he might come to that too, just to see our readings.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
How kind of Spencer to come
Mm.
and watch us read our poetry.
Be very excited.
I had I had only one last topic. Do you have anything in particular that you want to add before I move on to our final thing?
Nothing that won't make me angry.
Okay. Okay. Um it's just something in terms of writing that bothers the shit out of me constantly in
Mm,
poetry. And I always think about the time like a year ago that you asked me if I would ever write anything that wasn't just about me.
right.
So ever since then, I've been extremely obsessed with trying not to use I. I've told you
Mm,
this before,
yeah.
and it drives me absolutely nuts. Because sometimes I read a really good poem and I realize that they didn't use I in it at all. But then when I try to do it, I fucking can't.
Hmm.
And I'm
Takes
just
away a
like,
little the pretension though when you get rid of that I. It makes it a
I
little less self-absorbed, it's seeming.
I know, but it's hard to it's just hard to like convey an idea that's kind of like your perception, which is kind of what poetry is, like observing and making, you know, making observations based on your human perspective. So, I feel like when you're not using I at all, it I don't know. But then I read something that doesn't use I and it's like, "Oh, that's very simple." I just
Let
don't get
me
it.
check something real quick. Nope, that's got I.
Yeah, cause and,
That's
like, I've
got
been
I.
submitting my work, and I continuously find like, maybe they don't use I very much, but most poems use I.
Most of the poems have written use the I, so I don't know.
And I just, I don't know, like, I've been questioning myself, like, am I being ridiculous?
Yes and no. Let's read some Walt Whitman and see what he's up to
Yeah, I don't know.
100 years ago.
See, the thing is, older poetry is more like it's more, what's the word?
Cool, better, awesome.
It's more, like, technical, and it's almost like a science, so you can get away and it's, like, strict, so you can get away with not using I because of form, but when you're trying to be, like, real, when you're trying to be authentic, I think it just comes out.
Mm,
So, I think that's just the difference between contemporary poetry and, like, old forms. I don't know.
yeah, interesting. I don't remember if my P.A. Bard's poem has I in it, but yeah, most of the poems I write, I think, just usually have I in it, unless it's like a prose poem.
Yeah.
But nobody reads those.
They do.
Not mine, because I don't write them.
Well, at the time of this release, come Monday, Arcade Bookshop's next, feature episode is actually our crossover episode with Caleb's Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. We're
That we
talking
did like
about
6 months ago.
yeah, we're talking about The Plague by Albert Camus. It originally released on the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast back in like August or something, and I will be re-releasing it for Arcade Bookshop on Monday. And to go along with that, 2 weeks after that, we're talking about Mega Man 10
Ooh.
because those things clearly go together. Indubitably.
Indubitably. Hey, I have a challenge for you before we get off air.
Okay.
I want you to write a poem and make it very literary and really good about the Contra guys.
Yeah, sure.
Do it.
I'll figure out a way to do it, but it won't be like explicitly the Contra guys. How
No,
how
it's
do you want
gonna
me
be
to
the
do it?
Contra guys, and you're gonna talk about, moments in your life that would be so much better if the Contra guys could just come through and just blast everything.
All
Be
right, I'll
very
figure it out.
emotional.
I'll figure it
But
out, and I'm never gonna submit that, so I'll read it on next episode, next
you
week.
should submit that everywhere because it will get accepted.
We'll see,
Be in the New Yorker.
but that sounds good. We'll figure that
Like
out.
me, just like me. New Yorker.
All right, you ready?
2028.
Are you ready, Caleb? Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening to Arcade Cafe. I hope you enjoyed your time in the cafe, and we hope that that sounded ridiculous. Thanks everybody for listening. You've just spent some time in the Arcade Cafe, and we hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm Bryce Yoli with my pal and cousin-in-law Caleb James, and we will see you next week.